Hello and welcome to One Storyteller, where we are talking about Fellowship of the Ring, even though it's more like a fellowship to the mountains that just so happens to accompany the ring, according to last chapter. Anyway, I'm Reagan.
It's right to call it the Fellowship of the Ring. I'm Andrew.
He missed his cue a little bit. Yeah, there is a fellowship. There is a ring. Agreed.
We're in the chapter A Journey to the Dark.
We are.
Or in the dark, rather.
We should not go back and rehash. Although we should, because there is something really important here. So basically, in the Ring Goes South, we have this journey chapter where the Fellowship has finally gotten assembled. They've decided to go. They start out on their journey from Rivendell, so they leave the peace and safety and comfort of the Elf City, and they go on to travel a bit. They need to go southeast to Mordor eventually, and they're going to go through the mountains to get there. If they go straight south, Saruman's going to eat them, so metaphorically. So that's not going to go well. They have to cut through the mountains. They tried over the mountains last chapter. Didn't really work out for them, and so they've come back and they reset and they take a little council here before they end up going under the mountains, which is what most of this chapter is about, is the journey to Moria and then through a lot of Moria. That's kind of where we end up. And I'll bring that up in just a minute. Do you have overarching thoughts on this chapter? Because I did not love last chapter. You did. Mm-hmm. Do you love this chapter too? Or chapter 4?
The last chapter is very much like a setup sort of chapter. Mm-hmm. Like it's setting up our new... I was going to say this unironically. It's setting up the next chapter of the journey.
Oh, that's crazy.
Here is more of a narrow view. Like last chapter, we had broad strokes of time describing weeks they spent traveling and some things that happened.
And months that they just spent in Rivendell. Yeah,
that's true too. And this is
like a day.
This is like one evening. Days.
Yeah. Well, it's one evening to Moria, and then it's a little bit.
At the end, we kind of move into a few days.
Less than a week versus multiple months.
Yeah. And then relevant detail of like several weeks, maybe even a month traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's like a much more concise episode.
Okay.
And so I like that chapter for, like, you have to have a chapter like that to establish what's going to happen. But I think this is a bit more engaging just because of the fact that it's an episode.
Yeah. I do like this chapter better. I still have some issues with a few things, but nowhere near as many.
Okay.
I think
we might be able to
at least I think we've talked about most of them.
Yeah.
The first thing is that we have to talk about that goes back to last chapter is the delays that they've had. They delayed a couple months to scout in Rivendell. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it's not. It definitely may have saved them from some things. It definitely got them in some trouble, but that's water under the bridge at this point. When they're up on Caradhras, when it's snowing and it's overwhelming them, instead of turning back immediately, they say to wait out the night, which is what allows a bunch of snow to come down on them, which is what allows the snowdrift to happen. And so it almost catches them up on the mountain because they delayed instead of turning back that night. They wanted to see if they could make it, and they ultimately can't. Mm-hmm. What you see the first thing in this chapter is they take a council together, and they hear that there's some wolves in the background, but instead of moving away from the wolves, Frodo decides to sit for the evening so they can think about it, which again is that, like, I don't want to rush into decisions, but also it means the wolves catch up to their campsite. So it's like, I don't know. Personally, I see that as, they've gotten themselves in some trouble.
I think you're conflating a couple things here.
Okay.
Frankly,
frankly.
Yes.
Fascinating.
So they do wait to make a decision.
Yes.
At first.
Yes.
I'm going to put that on the table. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
But that is separate from the decision to wait for the night. Because they're exhausted.
Yes.
They have to. They have to.
Yes.
Like, they're exhausted from tempting the mountain, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So they need to camp.
Yeah.
You could argue that they should make the decision right away too.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're exhausted, that's really hard.
Yeah.
I think Frodo is right saying, if we're going to put this to a vote, which that's the way they do things around here.
Democracy.
Frodo says, you'll get more votes when it's daytime.
Yes.
And then they find out wolves are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And once that happens, they're like, okay, we don't need to make a vote anymore. We have to go.
Yeah.
So
they don't actually take votes.
Yeah. So I think that sort of proves your point, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. If they hadn't delayed in Rivendell, if they hadn't spent the time scouting, right? That's a generous way to say it. They wouldn't have been stuck anywhere near as difficult on the mountain. It wouldn't have been as snowy. They would have probably been able to make a better path.
I don't know how magic mountains work, but perhaps.
Yeah. Well, they said it was snowing heavier than normal, but also heavier than normal during the fall is not heavier than normal during the winter. Yeah. Right? It would have been easier to some extent. Presumably, because they delayed on the mountain and they tried to rest on the mountain when it was actively snowing and trying to kill them, they almost died on the mountain. And also, they weren't able to actually rest, and so they're tired coming off of the mountain, which means they have to make camp in an unfavorable place where the wargs catch them. It would have been better had they just come right back off the mountain. They tried it. Okay, it failed. They come back down. They camp. They get a more restful evening. And Gandalf doesn't reveal himself, so the wolves don't know where they are, right? And so there's some kind of byplay between preparedness and delay.
Well, there is, that's for sure. Okay, think about what you're advocating for at the end of the last chapter.
Yes.
Which is, let's go down a mountain in the middle of the night in a blizzard.
Better than sitting in a blizzard.
I don't think so.
At least you're moving.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
This is a complicated situation. I think part of it is like there's Gandalf wants to go under, Aragorn wants to go over, and it's not a neat solution. Like that's part of what's going on here.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's right to say every decision they have made was bad.
I'm not necessarily saying they're all bad.
Okay.
I'm saying the earlier decision has impacted their later decision.
And it has.
Yeah. And that impact has generally not been positive. I don't know that it's not a good idea to hike down a mountain in a blizzard.
No.
It's also not a good idea to just sit in a blizzard with no shelter at all, which is what they ended up doing. And so
sure. We'll have to get a blizzard expert. I'm pretty sure trying to use some shelter and fire as they did is better than you can't. You said they nearly died staying up there.
Yeah.
You can't really enjoy a fire while you're moving through a blizzard.
That is true. That is true.
I think that probably ended up being the better decision.
But they could have made it back down the mountain before.
If they didn't die.
Yeah. Well, before it was all covered in snow.
I just feels it's too simple a dilemma.
Yeah.
There for me.
It might be.
I think so.
It might be. Basically, it's complicated.
Sure.
Yeah. Journeying is hard. Essentially, it's the conclusion we're coming to. Don't go on a journey, and you never have to experience it.
Here's something I brushed over last chapter as well.
Go ahead.
But this feeds directly
Yes.
into things too. But it's still relevant here.
Yes.
Gandalf pulls back the curtain. He says, "Guys, I've been thinking we should go through Moria. Everyone who knows about it, like in Gondor, he says it's like it's a name of ill omen or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Understandable.
And the Hobbits, it's a legend of vague fear.
Mm-hmm.
Like Moria doesn't sound very good.
Not a great place.
But Gimli's response is he lifts up his head. There's a smoldering fire in his eyes. And it's because Moria, Khazad-dûm to the dwarves.
Yeah.
This is like their original homeland. Like the Hobbit book was about the dwarves winning back a much smaller kingdom in comparison, Erebor.
Yeah. Their personal home.
Mm-hmm. But this is where, like, the heartland of the ancient dwarves.
Yeah.
And Gimli's like, I would really like to go there.
Gang.
And we can see that in the previous chapter, where Sam and everyone else are looking at like, wow, look at those mountains. And then Gimli says, this is Zirik Ziggle and all these other names.
He just kind of goes on a monologue. Yes.
Baraz, Zirak, and Shathur. How I long to see the Miramir and the Dimril Stair and Kibble Nala and Keladzarim. He just kind of goes off with all these, and Sam says, what a jawcracker dwarf language is. But the point is, part of the point is I wanted to read those names. The other point is, Gimli really wants to see his homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's also put himself in this basket of we can't go home yet.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even mention, are we sure we can, we're stopping right by here. Are you sure we can't stop?
Yeah.
Are you sure we can't stop here?
That's good.
But he doesn't mention that at all.
Yeah.
But like we can see how zealous
Enthused,
and excited he is to go there once it is mentioned.
Yeah.
He wasn't the kind of guy who said, we have to go here because it's important to me.
Yeah.
I think that's really neat.
Foregoing his wishes for the good of the group.
Yeah, and it's sort of an implied thing there, but it clearly is there.
Yeah.
And it's much to his credit.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, that fits very much with the opening of the chapter, which is, okay, well, we could just go back to Rivendell, but then everybody would laugh at us if we did. So there's that
hobbits
mention.
are like, we should go back home.
Yeah, like
Except
we could,
for Frodo.
but as much as you want to, you can't do that. And so that's already started here. They take counsel. It's a council that has been defeated, but, you know, they're ready to try something else. And so they decide to go somewhere else. Gap of Rohan is suggested by Boromir.
Yeah.
And everybody says, no, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Rip Boromir,
It is a stupid idea. Sorry, Boromir. Love you, but, like, nah, man.
You know, that puts Boromir in, like, stark contrast to Gimli, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because Boromir wants to go south because... And especially if you go through Rohan, it isn't you'd be closer to Gondor before Mordor.
Yeah.
Which he wants to go back to his home as quick as possible.
Yeah.
The way Gandalf is proposing is an even split between Gondor and Mordor at the crisis point.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Boromir is, I'd like to go home. Gimli is, I mean, if everyone else wants to, I'll go to my home. That is super, super important to me.
I can delay, and Boromir's not. He's willing to listen to the group and follow with the group, which is good, but also, like I said last time, anytime he tries to take the lead is generally reflects pretty poorly on him.
Yeah.
Moria ends up being their only real option, and Gandalf does say, like, this is the worst possible option, but Sauron won't expect it, which is the reason for sending the ring to Mordor in the first place. Is this is a terrible idea. But nobody would expect we would do this, and so it
fits their decision-making philosophy.
That does hold water, and kind of like you said last time with like, why should we bring the hobbits? It's not because they're smart. Like, don't put your hope in wisdom, but
he won't expect hobbits.
Sheer dumb luck is going to get us through this.
No one expects the Shire Inquisition.
I mean, that's true. The Shire Inquisition. That would be fun.
Wait till the end of Return of the King.
Uh-oh. That's a spoiler alert. Moria is bad. Nobody's saying it's good. Even Gimli is kind of nervous about this, I think. Like, he wants to go, but there's also...
And he hopes it's good.
Yeah.
But he hasn't heard from, like, his uncle and Balin and them for months. Or, years, really. Yeah.
They went to Moria and then they disappeared. Is it Gimli who's the one who mentions, like, maybe he just never made it to Moria, and that's why we haven't heard about it? Is it Gimli who says that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Was that, like, in the Council of Elrond?
No, it was in this chapter, I think. It's just like...
Oh, then maybe he did mention that. I don't recall exactly.
I don't remember. It's been a whole day since I read it, so I forgot a lot of things. Yeah, but... Curious. So Moria is bad, but they don't have an alternative anymore. And so if they had gone, they might have. But no, they have to go through. Aragorn does say, if we're gonna do this, Gandalf, you better watch yourself.
Yeah.
Which is gonna age like a fine cheese, I think.
Yeah. And it shows this story is being told, and in view of like the old Beowulf sort of traditions.
Yeah.
Where great warriors have moments of like premonition and things like that.
Yeah.
Aragorn's like, this isn't like some wisdom. Aragorn's heart is just saying something's bad can happen to Gandalf if he goes through here.
Yeah.
And my experience says that's not like very realistic, but it puts itself in those kind of stories.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you can have a sense of something being wrong, right?
Yeah.
What's the Obi-Wan line?
There's no such things. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
That's Han Solo. What in the world?
That's
no,
Obi-Wan.
that's Obi-Wan. Yeah, you're right. No, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. Is just
Oh,
this
it is
seems like
that.
a bad idea.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like you've already revealed yourself. You know that something's down there. The whole point of Moria, and this gets revealed a little later on, is like the dwarves used to be there until they woke something up, and that thing presumably is still alive in there. Gandalf, it's kind of similar to the Hobbit. The dwarves used to be there until Smaug came in.
Mhm.
There was a living thing in there, and Gandalf wouldn't go do it by himself. He wanted a bunch of other people to help him with it. Moria is the same kind of thing, only worse, because they can't reclaim that one. And so it's like, I don't know about that. That seems like a bad idea.
I gotcha.
I think there's enough reason for him to say that, even if it is just a gut instinct. I think there's a reason for the gut instinct.
Sure enough. Yeah, not arguing that.
Yeah.
I think one thing, like comparing this to the Lonely Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
is there it's just one sleeping dragon.
Yes.
Here, everyone thinks it's one sleeping something, and maybe a lot of orcs.
Yeah.
So there's a different kind of danger there. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
Like Smaug doesn't have any army.
Yeah.
But there's...
Yeah, and Smaug was an external threat versus the thing that's in the mountain in Moria is an internal threat, much more so.
Yeah.
Or I know it came from Morgoth or something originally, but it was in the mountain the whole time. So there are differences, but there is reason for Aragorn to say this is probably going to go badly for you.
Yeah.
Especially if you did just light up on top of the mountain and everything within a however many mile radius just knows of your existence. So Frodo decides to put off the official vote until the morning. They sleep for a bit, and then the wargs come in, and Gandalf says, "All right, we're leaving. We're going to Moria."
Yeah.
And they all head that direction. They don't have any agency anymore. They are at the whims of their enemies, unfortunately. And so Gandalf says, "Eat quickly, and then we will leave." Or no, he says that a little later on, but he says,
the hunt is up.
"We're heading up."
Let's go.
Yeah. One wolf attacks.
Yeah.
Gandalf threatens it, and then Legolas just shoots it.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Then they're able to get some sleep because you don't want to...
Well, and then that whole group attacks.
Yeah, they get some sleep first.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, at least the hobbits do.
Okay.
You can't head out right away when there's a bunch of wolves all around you.
Yeah.
So probably it was just the
Yeah, you're
hobbits
right.
who were sleeping. Everyone else probably was on guard,
Mm-hmm.
And it's an epic battle.
A very epic battle.
Legolas's bow is singing, end quote. Gimli is swinging his axe.
Wow.
We read about Aragorn and Boromir explicitly killing some wolves.
Killing one each.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
Every one of the bigger people is involved in the combat. Every one of the
little people.
hobbits.
Right now, hobbits aren't doing anything.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because they will in chapter from now. Or at least some of them.
Yes, hobbits.
But
kill
here,
the ball
and then
dog.
Boromir. What? Gandalf.
Boromir casts
When
his magic
Gandalf-
spell.
When Gandalf threatens Bilbo in the
We're
first
about
chapter,
to head out, guys. Let me blow my horn again.
when Gandalf threatens Bilbo in the first chapter,
Yes.
there's a sense of his presence being greater.
Yeah, he bulked up.
And here, it's the same thing. Like his shadow grows. He stoops down to grab a firebrand and just lights the hilltop on fire.
Yes, he does.
So all the wolves are like, fire, run away.
Fair enough.
This is important. Again, it's a mixed bag with over or under the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
but turns out we have to go under the mountain. And that ends up being a sort of point toward Gandalf, right? Gandalf is wise. He's not really surprised most of the time. Doesn't know everything, but he's very powerful and very wise.
Yeah.
And this is a point toward his power. And Sam agrees. He says, that was a really real eye-opener.
Yeah.
I didn't know Gandalf could do that. He was just the fireworks guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they may well have been overwhelmed if Gandalf hadn't been there with them.
Yeah.
And then you can tell why Weathertop was flashing over and over again.
Yeah. And that also is a weird Hobbit parallel with a bunch of wolves chasing them.
Oh, yeah.
And Gandalf runs them off with fire.
Yeah.
A lot less impressive in that instance, I think.
Yeah.
So he just lights pine cones.
Yeah.
And chucks them at him, which is cool in its own right, but it's much more obtuse here. And he lights Legolas's arrow on fire to kill the wolf chieftain, which means that fire arrows are real.
I mean, it was for a second.
Magic fire arrows. And then the next morning, all of the bodies are gone. And then they leave.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole bit. They're not ordinary wolves.
Yeah.
What?
So I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's the first paragraph right after that. When the full light of morning came, no signs of the wolves were to be found. They looked in vain for the bodies of the dead. No trace of the fight.
I don't think I've noticed that before.
Burned trees and arrows. Like, is this like Saruman has sent a pack of wolves over? Is this like summons? I mean,
Gandalf isn't talking to the wolf for fun.
Yeah.
Like these are either from Saruman or from Sauron.
Yeah.
And probably you can deduce they saw something on top of the mountain and came over.
Yeah.
I think that's the good implication.
Probably.
They I know a lot of times when wolves are mentioned in Lord of the Rings, they end up eating dead even of their friends. That could be what happened.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think there's any ghost wolves, but it does serve to set a sense of unease.
It's definitely uneasy, but like if there were more wolves, wouldn't Gandalf have known about it? Or like whoever's on watch in the area should well have known about it, hopefully. Because these wolves all like died within close proximity.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's definitely uneasy. I just don't really know what it means.
Mm-hmm. I don't know either. I know when Gandalf is telling Frodo about Saruman's servants, he says he has werewolves and wargs on his team. And Lord of the Rings, werewolf just means a big wolf that has an evil spirit.
So not like werewolves.
Not like the Wolfman sort of Halloween thing.
So not like werewolves.
Yeah.
Is that like an ancient? Is that like Beowulf werewolf is
I
just
have
a
to
big
double
wolf?
check that. I think. Like
Do
the
we
idea,
just misuse the word werewolf today?
The idea of like the modern werewolf, like the Wolfman.
Yeah.
That is more recent than Tolkien.
Interesting.
But I think old werewolf is just some dude turns into a straight up wolf, which is a bit different than how Tolkien is using it. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, we will keep that in mind and probably never come back to that point.
Nope.
And so their journey continues, and there are wolves somewhere maybe, and so they keep on going.
Yeah.
We should go vaguely east and south and find the Moria is where they go. They kind of get lost. Yeah. Difficult to navigate.
The land has changed a lot since last he was here.
Yes, and I guess since Elrond's maps, because Gandalf and Aragorn spent a whole 2 months investigating maps.
Well, you think about
but maps
it,
get out of 8
if
days.
you pull up a map of, most of the maps in Lord of the Rings are very zoomed out sort of maps.
Yeah,
and I think you imagine those are the sort of maps they have access to. It isn't like a very precise local sort of map.
Yeah. Well, that could be. I would imagine that they would have local maps. A lot more of those.
Probably not of this ruined area that no one travels in.
Well, yeah, maybe not that. But even if they did, landscape changes over.
Yeah.
It can change very quickly.
Imagine that's more of a problem for elves.
Yeah. I was complaining a lot about this last night.
You were.
I've aged on it. I don't think it's that big of a problem.
Yeah.
They're looking for a large stream because there's a road to Moria that like borders the stream, and they can't find the stream.
Yeah.
And then eventually Gimli finds like this little brook, basically. There's just a little water, and they
say,
wonder,
okay, something must have dammed up the stream or something.
Yes. And then they get up to the top of that path, and they find this massive lake that's in front of Moria that didn't used to be there, but now it's there, and it kind of looks sus. And
evil-looking water.
Yeah, the water is not good.
So I'm going to do something to you.
To me?
Yes.
That sounds threatening.
Wow.
Thank you. Great.
So you said waiting was bad for crossing over the mountains.
Yes.
It's true. But something they find out here
finally
is if they'd come earlier, it looks like the water would have been a lot higher.
Yes.
And then they all would have been squid meat. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just there's some of both here.
If they had gone earlier, they would have made it over the mountain instead of coming to Moria in the first place.
Well, maybe.
Well, yeah. If that didn't work, then yes, they would absolutely all be dead. Rip. But maybe Gandalf could have killed it. He can't melt snow.
But
he can't burn
melt
snow.
Squid.
But he could. Maybe he could. I don't know.
Wouldn't have been
that's a
pretty
good point.
fight, I bet.
That's a good point. So as much as they are losing some advantage in some areas, they are potentially gaining advantage in other
spoilers,
areas.
There's a squid in the water.
There is a squid in the water. Or there's a thing.
Yeah.
I think all we see is a tentacle.
Several, I think.
Several tentacles.
Or a couple.
Yeah. One of them comes out at some point, but we'll have to get there. It's a secret. No one knows that there's something in the water. The
Watcher in the water.
Is it ever called that?
Yeah.
Oh, was it called that in this chapter? And
I think it's in the next chapter.
Okay. Because if it was called that in this chapter, I absolutely read over it.
No, I don't think it's in this chapter.
I was looking for it.
You're good.
That's nice to know. Always nice to be assured of. Yeah, the lake is dammed up, and it blocks their path, so they have to navigate around it. Nobody really wants to go swimming in it, which is probably good.
Yeah, you can get a sense, like, with some water. Like
it does not look safe.
There might be something in there, like a leech or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just a little one. That's all that there is. The lake it's kind of characterized. It kind of gets its own personality a little bit, not anywhere near as much. Yeah. But like the old forest had a personality, and Caradhras had a personality.
There's a little bit of that.
And the lake is like, it's black, it's evil, it's sometimes bubbling for no reason. It looks like there's something moving in it.
Yeah. So it's all cold. Like
it's just
hinting at this
dark, unclean water that
monster.
Makes you shudder in disgust when you touch it, because Frodo accidentally touches the water with his foot, which is very interesting because his foot is the thing that gets grabbed by the thing in the water. Curious. So that's going to end up.
There's this chapter, like this chapter and the next chapter have a lot of there's a lot of food for thought in regard to like the enemies of the Fellowship.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes. They're not just facing Sauron and his direct forces of evil, or even Saruman and his direct forces of evil. They are fighting nature and all of the things nature has to offer.
That's true. I don't think that's what's happening here.
Yeah, though. Not exactly. Not exactly.
Yeah.
So
but they make it up to the door.
Yes.
There's like a really pedantic issue some people have.
Yes. There's
like
a whole illustration in the book, which I thought was cool.
Yes.
Props where props are due.
You have
their gates. They look very cool.
Celebrimbor.
Yes.
Made this.
Okay.
With the help of Narvi the dwarf.
Okay.
I think that's his name. That they mentioned that in the chapter.
From Ocarina of Time.
No, that's Navi.
That's pretty close.
It is closer than it should be.
Oh. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I did remember that. That is Celebrimbor, like the Celebrimbor, the guy from Rings of Power. Sorry.
This is terrible.
That's not even the Rings of Power reference I'm gonna make. That's in the future.
But it's cool. As cool as like a composite symbol. Yeah. You have the Star of Fëanor, who was the lord of the Noldor elves. These guys who came back to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Holly, which is the people who lived in Holland, which is
Elf
Eregion.
used to be Elf City or Elf Country.
Yeah, it's Celebrimbor. It was one of the big kingdoms of elves that got destroyed.
Yeah.
But Celebrimbor ruled there, and then there's the sign of Durin, with the crown with 7 stars over the anvil and hammer.
Yeah.
And Gandalf says, yeah, they worked together here. There was great traffic and friendship between the elves and dwarves. And Gimli says, and I didn't hear it was the dwarves' fault that it ended. And he triggers Legolas, who says, I hadn't heard it was the elves' fault.
And we all say it was probably elvish.
And Gandalf says, I have heard both. Now, please don't fight and please help me.
And let me work.
So, our first interaction between Gimli and Legolas is sort of passive aggressive.
Quality racism. That's what it is.
It's racism of quality, which is sad.
Yeah, Gandalf just says, leave it alone. So basically the whole bit with these doors is they are invisible.
There's another connection to the Hobbit, right?
Yes.
Secret door.
Yeah. Although it's not just like once a year for those doors on Erebor. Yeah. It's just whenever the moon comes out, the doors light up, which is good. So it's much less of a coincidence that it actually just happens here instead of there. But they make it to these doors, and dwarf doors don't have keyholes, or they don't have normal...
They're effectively magic.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, you speak a password, and somehow it has a voice authenticator that opens the doors. Cool, I can handwave that away. That makes sense. And Gandalf just has to come up with the solution. And he doesn't, for a while.
Yes. So, Mary accidentally reads it grammatically correct.
Yeah.
What does it mean, speak friend and enter?
Yeah.
I'm guessing Dwarvish didn't have punctuation on the door, or else Gandalf would be super stupid.
Yeah.
But Boromir really, like earlier he questioned something Gandalf said, and here he really he pops off terribly. He says, "What? You let us here? You don't even know the password?" He says, "I don't know it yet. You can question the usefulness of my actions once they've been proven useless."
That's a good
which is asking for faith.
Yeah.
And Boromir doesn't know Gandalf as much. So maybe we can excuse this, you know, being caught between a rock and a hard place in a lake.
Yeah.
When he thought he could just get in. But it is a good idea. It's like, give people some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is an obstacle. It's sort of like the mountain. They've run into an obstacle, but you have to pivot a little bit to think.
Yeah. We can make that work. Basically, is Gandalf says, I can figure this out. He's been to Moria before.
From the other side.
But he came from the other side. So he knows all the theory about how it works, and he knows all of the typical passwords to get in. He just needs to actually run through them, is the whole bit.
Yeah.
But Boromir gets mad here, and then he gets mad a little bit later on when Gandalf keeps saying stuff and it's not working, and he decides to throw a rock in the lake.
Yeah, which is
a bad
very
idea.
Pippinish.
Yeah, it is.
It's what Pippin's going to do. Yeah. Basically the same thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason in the movie they gave it to Pippin. Pippin's the one who's throwing rocks in the lake. Pippin and Merry, I think, both. But yeah, it's very...
It fits Pippin. And
brash. And it also fits Boromir.
Boromir's very frustrated.
Yeah.
Here's a dead end. He doesn't know what to do. And he has to trust this guy who he does not trust.
And he doesn't like the lake, so he throws a rock
I hate this lake. Yeah.
That was a dumb idea.
Yes.
There is something that starts to move.
Yeah.
And Frodo says, that's probably not a good idea.
So there's a couple things that happen before their foe reveals himself.
Gandalf breaks in.
Yeah. What?
I mean, he gets the door. He gets the answer.
Yeah. And he figures it out. He says, of all people, Merry was on the right track. But that's just a nice thing to say. Like, Merry couldn't have said the Elvish word for friend to let them out in.
Yeah.
Like Gandalf is the one who connects the dots here. So faith in him is rewarded.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, but he does say, like, this was not something I would have come up with because, and he names the reason why, it's because the state of the world is so terrible.
Yes.
that I wouldn't have, like, these doors were made in happy times when people could joke about stuff like that. Mary is from an area where they joke about stuff like that.
Of course.
He's from a much more like naive area, and so he's able to come up with that, whereas Gandalf thinks it's some great scheme or whatever.
That's the perfect way to say that.
And it's beautiful. Sometimes dumb questions are precisely what's needed. Sometimes you need a little naivety to like actually expand your worldview a little bit.
No,
because
that's really true.
Gandalf, as much as he is great and as much as he is a benefit to them, he is a little jaded is not exactly the right word, but he's seen a lot of the world, and he just was not thinking along those lines.
Yeah, and we've said this before, but that's probably one of the reasons he spends so much time in the Shire. That's cool.
Refreshing himself.
That's a nice illustration of that. I hadn't appreciated it in those terms.
Well, there you go.
Thank
I
you.
make you appreciate all the good things and deny all
You
the
make me
bad
fight
things.
for the good things.
Yeah, it is.
I like that a lot.
It is interesting because he's like, those were good days back in the day, and then he moves on, and it's kind of back to the Ecclesiastes thing of like, don't wish for better days, right? Don't look back and say the old days were better, because they weren't really. There were still problems back then or whatever it is. But Gandalf is not in the reminiscing mode of like, oh, the old days were better. It's a shame we don't have those. Gandalf is in the mode of, those were good days. Let's get back to that. I'm going to do something that's going to create happier times.
Yeah.
And so instead of sitting and waiting, he's willing to actually get up and do it.
Yeah. Preach. Preach.
That's what Aragorn's doing.
Yeah.
There's no time for comfort. Like, I'll do that later, but I got a job to do. The work of these good men, of the strong men, makes good times.
Yeah.
And that's where Gandalf is. He has been in a period of weakness, which has led to Sauron's uprising. Now he's in a period of trial, but that's going to lead to the benefit of everybody else.
Exactly.
Gandalf is cool in this one instance. Yeah.
Sam has a couple really important moments.
Yeah. I do.
Go ahead.
I do think if Gandalf was going to spend 2 months in Rivendell, I would think that he would at least do some research on the doors of Moria to find out what the password is. I imagine that's written down there somewhere. And so that doesn't exactly make sense to me, but like
that's
whatever.
a fair thought.
Yeah.
I think
That's also a hand wave
I think
of
the
like,
implication must be it's not written down there.
yeah. Which
I know that's not very satisfying, but
well, maybe it's not because those elves don't exist anymore, or maybe it was written in Holland, but something happened to Holland, and so
something happened to Holland.
Yeah, and so it was lost there, or maybe it's just that everybody just kind of knew it, and it didn't need to be said because it was so simple, or it's just. So,
That
yeah,
seems like
I
a
don't know
pretty good
exactly what it
explanation.
is.
It's like the password's friend. We don't need to write it down.
Yeah.
Not written down.
It's literally
forgotten.
written on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if I were being super nitpicky, then I would nitpick that too. But I'm not. I'm just going to
You're
mention
not a
it
super
and move
nitpicky
on.
guy.
Of course
I don't
not.
care what they say about you.
What they say about me. There's one person who says some things about me. Okay, do you have anything else before they actually get in the door?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Sam has some important moments,
Oh,
which is the wolves are coming,
Sam is there.
and they say, "Hey, Gandalf tells
The group says this. The wolves do not say this.
what?
Sorry,
What did I?
not nitpicking.
The wolves are coming. Yeah, okay.
And they say,
And Gandalf tells Frodo, "Hey, we can't take the pony into the dungeons of Moria,"
yeah.
which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sam is very sad. It's just
Understandably.
it's sort of it's making me think of this because of something you just said. Is it really shows like Sam's like innocence?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a super brave guy, which we're about to see. Like before the doors is like one of the coolest Sam moments.
Sam.
Is he's crying about this pony.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa, what a girly little idiot.
That's a nice way to say it.
No, it's not.
That's a lot nicer than other things that could be said, but yes.
But he's crying because he loves this pony and
Mm-hmm.
it's a pet and companion, faithful companion.
Yeah. And if he releases it now with wolves chasing them,
It just shows like he has like this compassion for even these animals.
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf reveals another power he has. So he
Yeah,
can
he
he
just
can
keeps
light
pulling stuff out.
wolves on fire.
Yes.
He can figure out passwords eventually.
Yes.
Maybe that's not a sign of his
He is
greatness
the original
necessarily.
hacker.
But then he can also bless a pony so that
Mhm.
it can escape some wolves.
Yes,
That's cool.
but he can't burn snow.
Can't burn snow.
That's the only limit he has, but he cannot burn snow.
So
Yes.
I think that's a beautiful moment for Sam.
Mhm.
And then when the Watcher reveals itself,
Yes.
all of a sudden, after they had come before the doors after resting a little bit,
Mhm.
everyone else is stunned into inaction, and because of terror.
Yeah.
When the Watcher grabs Frodo, everyone except Sam.
Mhm.
He goes on his knees and is like before this monster so he can hack at these tentacles.
Yeah.
He's a very one of the most innocent people here, but he is one of the most courageous people here.
Random outbursts of violence
He's protecting
for good,
Yeah.
for good reason. Yeah. Sam is cool. I mean, he is the quintessential sidekick,
Mhm.
but he actually like does stuff, which is
Yeah.
also nice. He's not following in Frodo's shadow.
He's his own person.
very much his own person. So there is it's kind of set up even like you'll have to choose between Bill the pony and your master. Gandalf literally just says that earlier in the chapter.
Yeah. It's
Um,
not subtle.
Yeah,
Not subtle
you
here.
won't be able to get you won't be able to take the pony in, but Frodo is going in, so you have to choose. And then when the Watcher springs out and grabs Frodo, the first thing that happens is Bill runs away.
Yeah.
And so Sam jumps after Bill, but then he hears Frodo and he jumps back after Frodo and he saves Frodo.
Yeah.
So he had to make his choice, and he did make his choice, and he chose his master. So rip the pony, but like there are more important things. So
Sure,
Sam
yeah.
gives up the thing that he loves so that he can go
Yeah.
and serve other people, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not able to grab all their supplies. They
No.
grab what they can, go inside. I think they do shut the doors. Gandalf thinks, can I lock these or not? And then that doesn't matter.
No, Gandalf was trying to close the gate again, but the Watcher actually shuts them in, and he bears it shut. Gandalf tries to open it, and it doesn't open because the Watcher is holding it shut. And this
Yeah,
is
and it just had like, I guess like a forward tentacle grab Frodo or whatever.
yeah.
But that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
This thing slams the door shut like it's nothing and uproots these two huge trees
Mm-hmm.
and throws them in front and peels down a bunch of rocks in front of the door also.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of weird. I mean,
Yes.
I don't really understand. I don't know if we get any insight into this, and maybe we're not supposed to, but like, I don't really get what the plot of the Watcher was.
It's one of the more mysterious elements here.
Yeah. Okay.
Gandalf has a thought that's probably worth thinking about, and it's here in this chapter.
Mm-hmm. Later on.
No. Oh yes. It's right before. It's right after. Well. This passage is blocked
Mhm.
behind us. At the end of that, up until there's a little gap, a little break.
Yep.
Right before that, Gandalf says he did not speak aloud his thought that whatever it was that dwelt in the lake, it had seized on Frodo first among all the company.
Yes.
Gandalf's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's thinking about that because it's probably why that happened.
Yeah.
So he's after Frodo. So this thing has enough awareness, it seems, to be after the ring,
Yes.
which is scary.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. It does. But then why does it lock them in instead of reaching in after
sure.
them? That just seems weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do you think this thing is the thing that dammed up the lake?
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Just
wanted to
this
confirm
thing
that.
seems to have a lot more like intelligence than
Yeah.
it would seem on the surface.
Yeah. Big squid.
He dammed up the lake so that the dwarves were trapped in by water.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the dwarves call it the Watcher on the Water because it stops the dwarves from escaping out the western side of Moria.
Okay.
So it seems like it's part of a larger plot.
Conspiracy.
Is like your
Yeah.
job, Watcher on the Water. This is all conjecture. It's never like spelled out exactly. Is to make sure people don't escape this way.
Okay.
And so it's probably on the far end, because in part because like he's watching that side. He's not supposed to stop people from going in, but stop people from getting out. It's a squid, so it probably can't. It seems like it probably can't extend much beyond what we see.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I can't grab the ring anymore. They're beyond me. But I can make sure they don't get out.
Yeah.
So maybe he's friends with the Balrog or the orcs in there.
Well, even that is confusing because Gandalf says, well, it's either something has crept out from under the mountains or something's been driven out. I feel like the implication there is it's been driven out.
That could be one of them.
And so I don't know why it would cooperate with the Balrog. Or maybe it's...
I think it must be that it's crept out instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The way he says that does not incline me to
Gandalf
read it
says
that
it's
way.
one of those two options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, usually when you say it's probably one thing, or maybe it's something dark and sinister, it's usually
both
the
of those
dark
are dark
and
and
sinister.
sinister.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, but no, to your point, like
Something
it doesn't say exactly.
has crept or has been driven out of the dark water under the mountain. There are older and fouler things than orcs in the dark places of the world.
Mm-hmm. So it could have crept
I guess
from those.
that could work either way.
Yeah.
So
I think there's enough stuff, especially with what we
it's
see
a
later.
force of nature.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing.
In the next chapter, when they're reading the book of records of the quest into Moria, it spells some of this stuff out. That makes it sound like the Watcher has a lot of agency, and at least in attacking the dwarves.
Okay.
And then also with it goes after Frodo first. That's probably not an accident.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not an accident. So you got the squid thing. Now they played the squid game. Now they're stuck in Moria.
Oh, stop that. That's ridiculous.
It's a cultural reference. Tolkien ripped off the whoever made that. I don't even know. I don't know almost anything about that. Just the memes. So now they're in Moria. The water thing is aware of the ring. There's an implication that there is something else in Moria, and that something else will probably also know about the ring.
Yeah.
I think
so.
Yeah.
Why would this trap them inside if there wasn't something worse inside?
Yeah. So
I think that's a fair implication.
Something
Proves to
horrible
be
is
right.
going to happen, maybe. And Gandalf decides to be their guide. He's been here once before, a very long time ago, from the other side.
Yeah. And Aragorn has also.
Also a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Also from the other side?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, it's been a while. Neither of them really like it. And Gandalf doesn't really know the way, but he's going to try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't have perfect knowledge.
He's not a
this.
Moria expert.
So, yes, they bumble through. Gandalf is the only one who's able to help them. He's the only one with a light source.
Yeah.
They didn't have any torches because they didn't prep for this, or maybe they just didn't get any off the pony.
Yeah. Have you ever played... This is a terrible tangent, but I've already begun. Have you ever played like some of the original Pokemon games?
I played Alpha Sapphire one time, like half of it.
You know those caves that are dark unless you have a Pokemon use the move Flash?
No.
Yeah.
Is that
So you can try to go through the caves where it's just light around your little character. But if you cast Flash, then you actually see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like, I've been in some deep caves and stuff, but it's the Pokemon thing that's sort of a visceral memory to me. It's like, I can't see what I'm doing.
Dark Souls, Tomb of the Giants.
Yeah. So it is good they have such a guide.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, before the door, Boromir and Pippin are complaining and questioning and asking dumb questions.
Yeah.
Showing both their brand of naivety.
Yeah.
Or both their different brands, I mean.
Yeah.
But Aragorn, he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like why they're here.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, hey,
Gandalf's cool.
I've trusted Gandalf. He's going to take us through.
Yeah.
He says, at whatever cost to himself.
I wonder what that could be a reference to. Yeah.
But there's a neat contrast there.
Yeah. Gandalf is the reason they thought to go that path. Gandalf is the only reason they opened the door. He is the only reason they're able to make it through, because the floor is filled with holes and stuff. This is not in good repair. They keep saying like they almost died, but
Yeah.
Gandalf's light is what showed them what to walk around. And so he's the only one who's taking them there, and he's the only one who's bringing them there.
Yeah.
If they lose Gandalf, they will have lost everything.
They're losing a very competent guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nice to see that they will only lose him at the very last moment. There are a couple of other things here.
Yes.
Firstly, Gandalf keeps giving them drugs. That's the worst possible way to say it.
That is the worst possible way to say it.
Yeah. There's
It's a
Miravor, which is like it's an elf drink that brings about like hope and courage or something, which is odd. I mean, he just has a flask of it, and it helps.
You know Limbus, of course.
Yes.
This is the Rivendell equivalent.
Yeah. Oh, is Limbus like specifically a Lothlorien thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think you could connect this to probably some craft of Elrond, maybe even connected to like his ring. That something like this can be made.
Yeah.
It's a hope potion.
Yeah. It is. That's how a lot of people describe substances of some sort. So, yeah, it's he gave them some when they were on the mountain to keep them warm and help them through it.
And here again after squid.
That's why vodka is a thing, allegedly. Anyway, Russian moment, I think. Yeah, and so he's given that to them a couple of times. They're running out of that. They're kind of they're using elvish stuff to help propel them through the journey till they reach the other side and get to the other elf place.
Yeah.
And then on the other elf place, they're going to get supplied for really the rest of the journey in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so they're taking the light of those more divine things with them in very odd portable shapes. And so Gandalf carries that with him. Frodo's been messed up. He's wraith-marked at this point.
Oh, so
he can see in the dark.
Yeah.
Which is a little odd, but
it checks out.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Do you think that's more what Gandalf is referring to when he says
back in
Gandalf like
mini
Frodo
meetings?
Yes, Frodo looks a little wraithy. Like, it's odd. Because it could be that he's still in recovery, but also there seems to be a permanent effect that it's had on him.
Yeah. Basically, I think that's right.
Yeah. So it's funny that Frodo is elf friend, which means he glows a little bit, but he's also now like a wraith friend, sort of. He's got some light in him, some extra light, and he's got some extra darkness in him.
Yeah, that checks out.
And so he gets to make the choice between those two and what he wants to end up focusing on. They travel through. They make it to a spot with, I think, 3 different doorways. Yes. And Gandalf doesn't know what to do, and so they decide to take a rest while considering what path to go, which is very familiar for these past few chapters. They always take a break to think about it. And it ends up that there is a well in the room that they choose to rest in, and Pippin is curious about it, so he drops something down there and probably wakes something up, but we'll have to wait to see what it is. Yeah. That's basically what happens. Do you have anything else on that journey section?
I think Gandalf kind of blows up on Pippin a little bit.
Slightly understandable.
Very understandable.
Very understandable.
Like, dude, why would you throw a rock down a hole in a dangerous place?
Yeah.
And, like, Pippin's not frustrated. He's just, like, naive or just curious or whatever.
Just dumb.
But it's literally just what Boromir did.
Yeah.
Boromir threw a rock and they got attacked. Yep. Pippin throws a rock and they start hearing hearing like Morse code.
Yeah.
That's probably not good.
Yeah.
But Gandalf punishes Pippin. He says, "Okay, why don't you take first watch, buddy?"
Yeah.
But then Gandalf says,
then has
why
mercy.
Don't you get some sleep? Yeah. I can't sleep right now.
I'm just waiting. I'm just thinking. And so they...
So he calls him a fool of a took, but he shows some kindness to him too.
Yeah. he is a dumb kid, but he is just a kid, you
Mhm.
know. And so fine. We can hope it's without further trouble. And Gandalf is just there. He's taking over, and then he smokes a bunch, and then has a revelation, which is really funny. And that is how that goes. Like, it's a way to phrase it. Very interesting. They do decide to continue on their journey. Gandalf comes up with like the solution to where
Mhm.
they should go, which is one of the ways smells pretty bad, so let's not go there. And one of the ways feels pretty bad, so let's not go there. And this other way is fine, probably.
Probably
And so they go
the
with
least
that.
bad.
And this is the moment where Frodo has, I think, it's right after this that Frodo sees something, but it's at this moment where Frodo hears something. And
Yes.
as they're walking through the hall, he hears like a footstep behind them that's not an echo.
Mhm.
It is, they're being followed by something or other.
Yeah.
I wonder what that could be.
It's strange.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of orcs here. Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh.
But there are 3. It appears there are 3 independent parties that are looking for the ring.
Okay.
I wonder how independent they are.
Hmm.
Because Squid,
Yes.
Footstep Skulker, it's Gollum.
It's Gollum.
And we'll talk about the elephant in the room next time.
Oh, he's an elephant. That's what it is. They got elephants in Moria?
No.
That's crazy.
What do you think about Gimli's song?
Gandalf just gets trumpeted off the bridge.
This is what are you doing to my book?
So Frodo hears something, and then later at the end of the chapter, he also sees a couple of pinpricks of light, which are eyes, of course. So Gollum is following them, and Gollum at least has definitely been set up by Sauron because people don't just escape.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's not the best servant of Sauron, but right now that's his boss.
Yeah, he's one of them. The Squid Gang is potentially set up by Sauron, or at least in league with one of Sauron's other forces, which is the thing at the bottom of the mountain that we'll get to next time. So Sauron is closing in on them by proxy, sort of, through the lens of a bunch of other stuff. Then there's a song. They make it to a hallway. They make it to a hall. Gandalf turns the light on, and it's like, wow, it's a big hall. And then he turns the light back off and says,
Yeah.
let's not draw attention to
Have you
ourselves.
ever been in like a really deep and open sort of cave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mammoth Cave.
Okay. That's not very open.
Some parts of it is.
Some parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Generally
Yeah.
tighter passages.
There's a whole bit where they take you really deep into the
The
cave.
mammoth room.
It's very open, and then they turn all the lights off, and it's like, whoa, it's dark, and then they turn all the lights back
Yeah.
on, and they're like, yeah,
I was
it's dark in the cave.
at Carlsbad recently, which is like the superior cave,
Bruh. Get out of here.
And this I'm exposing my extreme geekiness again.
Your
I
caving side.
chanted this song in the belly of the earth. It was awesome.
Did you have to take the book down there, or do you just have it
I
memorized?
just have it memorized.
Bruh. That's fascinating. What do you spend your time on? Oh my. It's a song.
Yeah.
It's a song.
It's Sam triggers Gimli. He's like, they must have been busier than a bunch of bastards for 500 years to build this hole. And Gimli's like, dude, this isn't a hole. This is like my ancestral homeland.
This is the best place ever.
This is the great realm and city of the Dwarodelf.
Yeah.
And of old it was not dark, but full of light and splendor, as still is remembered in our songs.
And then he goes off on
Goes off. This is my favorite song in the book.
Durin be sleeping.
And
Who is Durin? He's not like a divinity. He's just a really famous dwarf.
who?
He's not a divinity. He's not like
Oh.
a god or anything. He's just like the
So
peak of dwarves. He's the Abraham for dwarves, right?
essentially,
Yeah. Okay.
he.
The forefather. That's the word.
I think it is. Dwarves are secret about their true names and their religion
Mhm.
and about a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
I think they do sort of worship Durin
Yeah.
And there's this whole bit, tangent time. Tolkien thought about like having elves be able to reincarnate in some earlier times of writing the Silmarillion and things.
Okay.
But it seems like one could imply like Durin actually does. Because throughout their history, I think they've been through 6 Durins by the time Gimli's alive.
Yeah.
I believe.
Because 3 and 4 are in the Rings of Power. That's not even the Rings of Power reference I'm going to make. It's still upcoming.
I know. This is so upsetting.
You're welcome. I hate it so much. Someone has to share my pain.
But the dwarves, during Abraham works, but he's this figure who crops up at different times of like restoration and glory for the dwarves.
Interesting. Okay, so he is a very, very famous figure. He's a cool guy.
And the song they're singing about here is the first Durin.
Yeah.
And I think probably the song, you get the sense it's sort of a recent sort of song, because they're waiting for the last Durin.
Yeah.
Which is like blatantly, or not blatantly, it's very messianic and religious, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The 7th Durin to come about?
Yes.
Huh, yeah. That's fascinating.
Because, and I just love this song. It's very similar to why I like the I Sit Beside the Fire and Think song.
Mm-hmm.
The dwarves are lamenting all the glory they lost.
Yeah.
So we had this great kingdom. We were at peace. We made all these beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
We filled the darkness with light.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
cool.
blatant imagery. We made songs, and we were a prosperous people.
Dwarves are the best.
And the end of the song is, the world is gray, the mountains old, the forge is fire, is ashen cold. What?
You can read it off the book. You don't have to quote it at me. I see you over there. Yeah.
No harp is rung, no hammer falls. The darkness dwells on Durin's halls.
There he goes.
The shadow lies upon his tomb, in Moria, in Khazad-dûm. Still, the sunken stars appear, in dark and windless Miramir. There lies his crown in water deep, till Durin wakes again from sleep. So, things are really bad and dark right now, but the dwarves are eagerly waiting things to be good again.
Yeah. Rip the dwarves.
No.
They're cool. I like them.
They are. And this fits in like some of the elvish nostalgia we saw in earlier chapters. But it's something everyone's dealing with. Like Aragorn sort of embodies the solution to like Boromir's problem, to Gondor's problem.
Yeah.
Which is, we were a great kingdom before. We need something to jumpstart us again.
Yeah.
It's not just an elf problem. And I think this dwarf song is very beautiful. I like how it talks about this.
Mm-hmm. Dwarf is cool. I like dwarf.
And if I continue a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you go.
Sam says, that was beautiful. He sort of responds naively. He says, I like that.
I like that.
I want to learn that song.
Yeah.
In Moria, in Khazad-dûm. But then he sort of accidentally, as far as it concerns himself, he stumbles upon the truth of it. He says, but it makes the darkness feel heavier somehow, thinking about all those lamps shining.
Rip.
Yeah. So in some ways, ignorance is bliss. Moria feels sadder when you think of what it used to be.
Yeah.
But ignorance isn't bliss, because if you don't think about like what you've lost, you're not really thinking about what you can regain.
Yeah. And this is really the point at which Gimli says, it's at the end of the next like little section, but Gimli says,
Gimli's too
all right,
sad.
like,
oh,
I've seen it, and it is incredible, but also like there's nothing here.
Yeah.
I doubt now that Balin ever came here.
Yes.
That's where he says
he
that
says
line.
there's no evidence here.
So just like,
dark and
all right, this is cool.
Which
I don't want to be
it jumps
here
ahead
anymore.
a little bit, but that said, because Balin did come here.
Yes. Rip.
But he made such little impact that doesn't even look like he ever was here.
Yeah. It's a shame, or at least since they're still in the western portion, he never made it through to that place. Basically, he made it halfway through, but not the rest of the way, and that's the unfortunate, depressing thing about it. Moria is valued not for money, but for mithril, which is the elven word
uber
for
money.
the metal that the dwarves mine that has a secret name that no one has ever heard except the dwarves. So I don't know what to call it except for mithril.
True
Shame.
silver mithril.
Sauron got almost all of it,
Yes.
which is
That's one of the reasons we find he wanted Moria.
yeah, minorly terrifying.
Yeah.
Does that ever come back up?
Not
I don't think so.
not specifically. I think we can imply he's able to corrupt it to make some of the most hideous and horrible weapons his servants have. But
that would make sense. Stuff is valuable, right? And so even the elves wanted it because in Rings of Power, that's the whole plot line is they need mithril.
that's the reference.
I
forgot about that.
That's the whole bit. Yeah, their
I'm really
tree
happy
is
I could
getting
forget stuff like
a
that.
disease, but if they put mithril on the tree and on every single elf, then they will not have the disease anymore. It's so incredibly stupid. How did people come up with that?
That seems like a
Human
hippie
beings.
conspiracy theory.
It's ludicrous. It's so bad. You're welcome for for reminding you after you got it out of your head.
Maybe ignorance is bliss.
That is what we were talking about. See, I'm just trying to get you to experience what Gimli's experieing, which is
my word.
It's depressing now that we remember.
I was already doing that. That's why I like the
You're
song.
welcome. But of course, the dwarves are greedy,
Yes.
and
That's
they
the line everyone knows. They
delved.
delved too greedily and too deep.
a little bit, and they woke up something that may or may not be the same thing that Pippin just woke up. That may or may not be the same thing that Gandalf might have woken up on the mountain when he lit off.
Probably not what Gandalf woke up.
Probably not, but it does end up being woken up, and it does come and take up Gandalf.
Yep.
And so, yeah, there's something down there, and it's probably not good. And this is the moment where Frodo, when he's on watch, he goes and sees that he's being followed. Yeah. That's not the thing that they woke up.
Nope.
But do you think Gollum found them because Gandalf lit up the mountain?
I don't think the timeline doesn't match up quite there.
Okay.
I think Gollum must have entered Moria before they did.
Yeah. Do you think he entered it from the eastern side?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. That would make sense.
What is the Elvish word for friend? He can't solve that.
I thought he just broke in. He's a
can't
funny guy.
break
He's a
in.
thin guy. He can just slip
He
through
just
the
fit
cracks.
I can fit under the door, precious.
That's what it is.
No, he came in through the east side.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yes, this is... Frodo knows they're being followed.
Yeah.
So this is sus. Gimli, at this point, is done with Moria. He knows that there's nothing good here anymore. Or at least, like, maybe there's a conquest that happens later, but it's not happening right now, and it's time to leave. It's all wrong for them. And then, as they, like, round the next corner, essentially, as they go out walking the next day, they do happen to find a tomb, which also has a little illustration in the book. And it's all in Dwarvish, which I cannot read. But it says that's Balin. He's the Lord of Moria, and here's his tomb. So, unfortunate.
It's sad. The dwarf's name for this place is like the Dwaradel for Khazad-dûm. Moria is the elven name for what it becomes after the dwarves are gone, which Moria means the black pit.
Oh, that's nice.
And so the dwarves say, this is Balin, son of Fundin. He's lord of the black pit. We didn't make this Khazad-dûm. It's very sad.
That's an interesting lore drop. Huh. That's useful. And then Frodo says, well, he's dead.
He's very sad.
Yeah. And you said Frodo knows Balin from previously?
I think we never read about them talking, but next chapter opens with him remembering Balin coming to visit Bilbo. He remembers that because he was there. You know? Okay. So he's encountered this guy before.
Yeah. Or, well, of Balin's visit to the Shire long ago with Bilbo and his friendship. Okay. So he just knows of Balin maybe by reputation.
Maybe so.
And he knows because Glowin told him about Balin a couple chapters ago and how Balin went to go and free Moria. So I don't think
maybe he visited the Shire afterwards. Some dwarves did.
Yeah.
And you'd expect it to be some of the original 13.
Yeah.
From The Hobbit.
But Balin was occupied with his side quest. So I would guess they probably didn't meet personally, but there's enough of a kinship. It's like when I meet someone that knows my siblings or, my uncle or aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know you, but I kind of know you. Like, you know who I am. We can chat about our familiarity and our connections.
Mm-hmm.
And Frodo is disappointed when he can't do that because Balin is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Balin.
It was sad.
And then Tolkien just quit writing for like a year.
That's
or
the
whatever.
bit. Yeah, he got to this point and he's like, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do next in this part of the story.
Yeah.
He doesn't finish writing. It works. You can tell he's put some thought into it. But
He definitely has.
he stopped and thought about it for a while.
Yeah. So now what we do is we take a break for a year and a half
And
so that we can
nothing
follow
would be more
Tolkien's
fitting.
timeline.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. He summarized 2 months in about 5 words, but he summarized a year and a half in a chapter break.
Yeah.
That's the Tolkien way. So, next time we will pick up with the next chapter, whatever that is, chapter 17, or book 2, chapter 5.
The Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Yes.
We're going to try to combine that with Lothlorien.
Yeah, since that's a short chapter, surely we won't have much to say.
We'll
and we'll combine that with Lothlorien, and maybe we won't finish all of Lothlorien, but we will definitely finish that when we do the next chapter.
We'll be able to
well.
plot that out.
So we'll work on it. Anywho, do you have anything else to say up to this point in Khazad-dûm?
I think that's everything.
Very cool. Then we will pause there and catch you all for the next episode. Hopefully this is enlightening and entertaining in some sort, and I'm glad that everyone in the comments agrees that I am correct.
Imagine.
Yes. You haven't seen any of the comments. They all say that I'm correct.
I don't think there are any comments.
There aren't any comments yet. But you should put comments that tell me that I am right. That would make all of us feel better here at the One Storyteller channel.
Make half of us feel better, I guess.
Make a whole 50%, which it rounds up. It does.
That's terrible.
Math works this way. It also 50% rounds down, but oh well. So, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.